This is Rick Casselge from exercisesforinjuries.com. Today I have another interview for you, and it's dealing with sugar and the holidays. And this interview is with Catherine Gordon, and I'll get Catherine to introduce herself.
Hi, Rick. I'm so glad you had me on today. Yes, I am Catherine Gordon, a certified personal trainer, certified turbulence trainer, and sugar elimination expert. I'm the author of Sugar Freedom, and I overcame obesity by eliminating sugar and by learning how to train right. But of course, we're dealing with sugar today. And I'm also a transformation and a sugar elimination coach, working with people every day, helping them either eliminate sugar entirely for people like me who really have a sugar addiction, or to manage sugar in order to, if they can keep it in their lives a little bit. And we're going to talk about both of those strategies going forward for the holidays.
Yeah, definitely. I kind of named this call Tips to Surviving the Holiday Sugar Crash. And I wanted to do this interview because, yeah, holidays are coming up. So Christmas is next week. And as I've kind of talked about on the blog before, and interviews, is that sugar is one of those things that inflames the joints and slows down your recovery and works against recovering from injury and pain. So I wanted to kind of talk about that with you on some tips that people can kind of do to avoid sugar, or at least like try to minimize it, because I know when starting out, it's challenging to eliminate it fully, and you kind of got to phase it out like a 12-step process instead of going cold turkey.
Well, let's talk first about managing sugar. And let's not go all the way toward total elimination of sugar for right now. Let's talk about managing sugar. If you're the kind of person who is still going to want to have some special meals and some special treats during this period, covering all of the holidays, all the way through New Year's Eve, and you still want to have some of those enjoyable things. The most important thing you can do first is have a plan. What you're going to do is get out your calendar. You're going to look at those special nights. You're going to look at those special celebrations. You're going to decide which ones they are, and you're going to say, okay, at this special celebration, I'm going to choose to have some special goodies on this special night. And then also, there might be some very particular foods that are really important to you on the holidays. In my family, we have a special coffee cake. It might be a special cookie. And you are going to say, okay, these are really important to me, so I'm going to include these in my eating strategy for the holidays. Most important thing, Rick, is if we look at there are treats and there are indulgences, and then there is junk. And for the person, right, for the person who isn't a complete sugar addict, who does tolerate some sugar, what I'm going to say is focus on those high quality treats, the very best cookie that's part of your family tradition, a wonderful dark chocolate dessert. And one of the things that I'm going to do right now is I'm going to talk about somebody that we both know, and her name is Diana Koulian, and she does family-friendly recipes. If you're looking for exquisite treats that have some coconut sugar or maple syrup that in them, yeah, if the book is close, pull it up.
Yeah.
This is your resource.
It's great.
Yeah, if you can handle and tolerate moderate amounts of sugar, please get that online program, get that book, and man, you can make some incredible treats for your family. At this moment, I would like to show you one of my secret weapons, actually two of them. I don't tolerate any kind of sugars well. So this is dark chocolate made with stevia or stevia, which I do tolerate well. Look for dark chocolate made with stevia. And then the other solution is many paleo recipes or some, there are recipes that can be made. Here it comes. This is xylitol. Now, this is made from hardwood. I know that's crazy. This is non-GMO. This is a sugar substitute. I'm not going to tell anybody who doesn't use sugar substitutes to use this, but if you're like me and you're an addict and you want to make a sweet treat, that's your stuff. And I can send you my recipe for chocolate mousse that is so insanely delicious that's made with this. So what I am telling the non-sugar addict is choose your treats. Do not waste this time on junk treats. And you had asked me about, what are some of the worst? And a store-bought iced sugar cookie, oh man, don't go there. It's going to be made with, high fructose corn syrup, refined wheat flour, and then they're going to ice it on top with probably trans fat. So don't eat that. Go, get a high quality treat. Don't eat the low quality treats. Low quality marshmallow Santas that you get at the dollar store. Oh my gosh, don't go there, right? Don't, because it's sugar on top of sugar covered with fake chocolate. I mean, why would anybody eat that? So that's one of the important strategies that you're going to have if you're not a sugar addict, but you want to do great in the holidays. Let me just for a moment also talk about alcohol. I want you to do the same thing with alcohol. Please don't wake up on the 1st of January just miserable and destroyed. If you're going to a party, go in with a strategy. Remember to have a full glass of water for every glass of alcohol you have. And remember, nothing is going to give you a worse headache than cheap champagne. If you're gonna, right, drink the good stuff. Right. You guys, if you're traveling, high quality, your very highest quality clear liquors, not the sweet stuff, not the peppermint schnapps. If you are going to indulge in adult beverages, be an adult about it and have a moderate amount of the good stuff.
There's a lot that you went through there. So how about we kind of step back and we go to the start and we talk about, my perspective when it comes to sugar is it slows down recovery and irritates the joints and has a negative effect on injury recovery and pain. Mm-hmm. Now, what will be some other factors on why, why we have to either eliminate or really be cognizant of how much sugar we consume?
Most important thing from my perspective, and even from a pain perspective, is understanding how sugar affects the appetite and how sugar affects the brain. For me personally, and for many of the people that I work with, when we eat sugar in high amounts, we get the we get the dopamine response. We get this hit, and it's literally like a hit off a drug, and boom, you're triggered, you're in it, and you're off to the races. So one of the things that's really important is not to go into situations where we're getting extremely hungry and then all of a sudden we're indulging. Very often, one of the biggest mistakes people make in terms of overindulging in sugar is they'll have a special meal coming and they'll say, okay, I'm not going to eat anything before I go. I would like to give you a very specific strategy on blood sugar and preparing. And basically what it is it's Bragg's apple cider vinegar. Here it is. A lot of people in our industry are talking about this. And I myself and my students drink a tonic every morning, tablespoon of this, tablespoon of lemon juice. You can add some stevia if it's too sour, 16 ounces of water. This is proven to help blood sugar control. And I know that it helps blood sugar control and overeating. Who knows, it might also help as far as joints are concerned. Some people actually put this stuff on in order to reduce joint and muscle pain. Haven't seen the science on that yet, but I know it sounds nuts. So there's another one of my very specific things that I do. When it comes to sugar and pain, Rick, I teach 12 turbulence training classes a week. I cannot afford joint pain. Yeah. And that's one of the reasons why I just don't eat sugar at all. I just don't go there, because the very next day, I absolutely have an inflammatory response in my joints. I can feel it, Rick. So I just don't go there.
Yeah. And it ends up being with a lot of people. And I think you need to know your personality. I know with me, going cold turkey with anything just doesn't work. I work much better when it comes to phasing out, because I went through a period of time where I would love soda, and I would go through like a 2-liter bottle a day of soda. And it took me a good year or two to kind of wean off. And now I can't even handle the taste of it. It's way too much for me, but I don't think I tried cold turkey and it just doesn't work. It works better when I phase things out.
Mark Twain, there's a wonderful saying, you can't throw a habit out the window, you have to coax it down the stairs and get it out the door. And I think that that's what you do is you're coaxing it down the stairs. If you're asking about how I would bring that into daily life, how to coax the habit down the stairs, I think number one thing would be first would be the soda. Is you find a replacement for that soda,
Yeah.
and it could be sparkling water with lemon. There is something called Zevia. I don't know if you necessarily want to go there. I mean, if you're really addicted to soda, but I think, try replacing it, a couple a day with water and then walk it down the stairs. One of the ways that I deal with diet soda, because I used to be addicted to diet soda, is I box it out. I only drink a diet soda at the movies. If I go to a movie with my teenage son, I will have a diet soda there. And so what you're doing is this is something very important. You're setting boundaries, and you're not completely boxing it out, but you're saying this is the times when I'm going to drink a soda, and that's one good way to start.
That is. And we kind of talked about, what are some of the worst holiday treats, and it's really those, cheap, low quality, low satisfying, kind of treats that you get into the regular bakery store.
Yeah,
or the dollar store.
Or yeah, I mean, don't be tempted by that. And one of the good news is that I do think that the world is changing. We're starting to see better choices in airports. I've seen strawberries and hard-boiled eggs and at convenience stores. Hardee's and Carl's Jr. are talking about coming out with a grass-fed hamburger. Things are changing. And so that's one of the ways I think that we can start to do better. And the market is starting to catch up with this and realizing that the people who eat healthy whole foods tend to be people with disposable income. And they're starting to say, okay, we're going to offer better things to you. So look for those new offerings.
Yeah. I know if you're into business, you've seen that McDonald's has taken a hit with its growth. It's actually decreased its sales this year. So it's going to have to...
They have to find their way. Yeah. They have to find their way. I mean, you continue to offer the signature foods that people come to McDonald's for. You're certainly not going to stop offering the Quarter Pounder, but I think at the same time, you kind of slip in some of the things. For example, I have a teenage son who has never, ever, ever had a weight problem, right? He's not a sugar addict. My husband isn't a sugar addict. So I'll admit it, every once in a while, we're still going to go to McDonald's. So what if McDonald's has the stuff that my son can eat with no problem? He's got, good insulin sensitivity. What if they're also going to offer a salad or apples or something like that for me? And that does seem to be working, because generally, I can go to these places and not do it every day, but once a month, there's still something there that I can eat.
Yeah. Or ask them to put something on the side, removing it from the burger or whatever you end up having. I mean, the biggest tip, I think, is just grilled versus that
bread and fried.
I mean, that ends up being like the biggest thing you can do.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because one of my classic trigger foods is the breaded and fried fast food chicken. And that triggers me every time, but the grilled version doesn't. Yeah. So they're doing something right.